everyone, welcome to the second video of Easy Neuro. Today's topic is the central nervous system. As we learned in our previous video that the central nervous system consists primarily of the brain and the spinal cord. So today we will discuss more about the different brain regions and their functions. But before we begin that, let's talk about a concept which is about the plane of dissection. Okay, so in brain anatomy, there are two planes of dissection, two main types of dissections, the sagittal and the coronal sections. The drawing that you see over here, it is of the sagittal section. So sagittal section is the one in which the brain is divided into the right and the left hemispheres. Okay, so you can totally see the whole hemisphere, one of the hemispheres. Whereas on the other hand, the coronal section is the one which is perpendicular to the sagittal section. Okay, so in those sections, the brain is divided in such a way that we can see both the hemispheres, right? And also it divides the brain into the anterior and the posterior sides. So anterior, which is the ventral side, and posterior, which is the dorsal side. Okay. Now let's talk about the different brain regions that we see in this drawing. First, let's talk about the cerebral hemisphere. Okay. So cerebrum is the biggest or the largest part of our brain, okay, and consists of the cerebral cortex of the cerebral hemisphere. So we have two cerebral hemispheres and the subcortical regions like the hippocampus or the olfactory bulb, the basal ganglia. So the cerebrum is involved in a lot of functions such as thinking, reasoning, memory, also in sensory processing. The next part is the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum is a bundle of nerve fibers which connects the left and the right hemispheres, and it acts like a communication pathway between both the hemispheres. And the next part is the diencephalon. So the diencephalon actually consists of four different parts, out of which the two main parts that we'll talk about is the thalamus and the hypothalamus. So the thalamus is actually acting like a relay center for the brain, especially for sensory information. And the hypothalamus is involved in functions such as the functions of the autonomic nervous system, of metabolism, and also is a really important part of the endocrine system. So the cerebrum, the corpus callosum, the diencephalon, and all subcortical regions, they form a part of the forebrain. The next part is the midbrain. So midbrain is also made up of three different parts, which are mainly involved in movements of the eye and also in auditory and visual processing. And the last part of the brain is the hindbrain. So the hindbrain is made up of the pons. Okay, so this is the pons, and pons is actually really important for the breathing in the individual, so the rhythmic breathing. Also, there are a lot of cranial nerves which come out of the pons, so it's also involved in the function of the cranial nerves, right? The next part is medulla oblongata. So medulla oblongata is also really responsible for the controlling the rhythmic breathing of the individual along with the pons, and also for other involuntary movements such as the sneezing or maintaining the blood pressure, vomiting. Okay, and the next part of the hindbrain is the cerebellum. So cerebellum is also really important for movements again, and also for language and attention. And then the last part that we come to is the spinal cord. Again, very important part of the central nervous system, involved in a lot of movement functions, and it acts like a pathway to communicate information between the brain and the rest of the body. Okay, so these are the different brain regions and their functions. So I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, please write in the comments below and I will be happy to answer your questions. And see you till the next video, and please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and bye.